Welcome back, KTN Scoreline it is, and there is a lot that is happening in the world of sports. We have been telling you what happened actually yesterday night and also today in the morning, where the rugby team were trying to get some positive results, but they never were able to register positive results in the HSBC World Sevens Series in Las Vegas. A lot of expectation there, but those young boys, they are having a good time there, but the results are not that good as we expect. But we know they're getting to have some lessons also, which those lessons are lessons that maybe will aid them in their quest to be able to get that experience and also to be able to star. The Women's Premier League has also kicked off today, and the Makolandas against Thika. It was the Thika Queens who are able to get that important 4-3 victory. Right now, we go straight forward to the Kenyan Premier League menu, because we know we have a host of matches that are scheduled for today, and also a number of matches that will be on the cards tomorrow. On Saturday, these are the games that will be played. I know a lot of people will wait and see what exactly Bandari FC will have to bring on the table against Mathare United. What do you think? Bandari against Mathare United, and for now, we know Bandari are trying as much as possible to say they are on the top of the log and they want to stick there until the very last minute.
Bandari being at home in Mombasa, playing against Mathare, they'll be having a good time in Mombasa. Trust me, Molala will not allow the 3 points to leave Mombasa unless the best that Mathare can get in Mombasa will be a draw. Remember, Mathare number 3, Bandari number 1, they're leading. Bandari won't allow themselves to sink right at home when they want to win the Premier League for the first time in the Kenyan Premier League history.
Zoya Sugar will be playing against Tusker, and remember in the last outing, Tusker against Gor Mahia, there was a lot of hard talk coming from the Tusker tactician. He was not a happy man. Will he be a happy man against Nzoia? Remember, they're also playing away.
You know, football is all about people who are aggressive, people who don't want to accept defeat. Remember Bandari coach Bernard Malala, when he was at Kakamega Homeboys, he was that guy who doesn't want to lose, who will never accept that I've lost. But so Matano is the same. He has done this thing for a long time. He was very furious last week when Gor Mahia scored 1-0 against them. He said that they were denied a penalty. The goal the Kogalo scored was not a good goal. But now, Matano will have to prove himself against Nzoia Sugar. Will he leak the sugar from the Zoyas?
We'll wait and see if he will enjoy that sweet taste. Mount Kenya United will be playing against the Kakamega Homeboys. Also an important tie for AFC Leopards, also a crucial tie for AFC Leopards, a tie that is scheduled to be played at Buhungu Stadium, and also for them it is a sort of a derby.
Oh, you ask me about AFC Leopards and Sony Sugar. AFC Leopards, they are sinking. The club is not just sinking, but it's sinking with reason. Some things are happening in the AFC Leopards that we can't tell on live TV. Something needs to be done before the
Actually, let me just update our viewers. Let me update our viewers. Nzoia Sugar has just scored against Tusker. Actually, and again, they have removed it. So I think this live score issue, I'm not certain. I cannot verify that. But the live score that I'm looking at, they just said Nzoia Sugar had scored and they removed it, so it's still 0-0, 2 minutes on the card. So we never know, maybe it was a goal that has been ruled offside or out. You never know. But Nzoia Sugar against Tusker, the game is on, 2 minutes on the cards. You're talking about AFC Leopards and how a season, not a good season they're having right now. Who expected they would have been at the tail end of that log? Will they redeem themselves and maybe just try to redeem themselves against Sony Sugar today?
Maybe, because we have played 13 games at the moment, so we have more games to come. Probably in the next 4 to 5 games will determine their way. If FC Leopards will not win any of the next 5 games, trust me, they're sinking, and they're sinking fast. This will be the first time, second time again, FC Leopards will be going to relegation, and coming back is always a tough work to do. They have a tough work to do. So FC Leopards against Sony Sugar, it will depend on how it goes. FC will be playing home, but again, they have to do their best, or to give their best so that they don't sink for sure. For Kariobangi Sharks, Chemili Sugar Kariobangi at home at Kasarani Stadium, they have to make sure that they win this game, because if they really want to remain among the top 4 in the Kenya Premier League. Western Stima against Vihiga United. Western Stima, these are mid-table teams. One is a mid-table team. The Vihiga United is just above FC Leopards. FC Leopards are just the bottom on the table. So Western Stima, they have an upper hand in this game, but it all depends on how Vihiga United plays their cards.
You never know what exactly will happen. On Sunday, we also are expected to have different times. Remember, we were supposed to have 3 games on Sunday, but the Ulinzi Stars are tie against Gor Mahia. It is a match that has been postponed, and that is simply because Gor Mahia are playing in the CAF Confederation Championship. So for them, they will not play that tie. But we have Sofapaka against KCB, an important tie for both KCB and Sofapaka, and also Zukericho against the Posta Rangers. People will talk about Sofapaka and how they started their campaign. A lot of recruits. KCB also coming up, a different tactician. They have the chums, they have the money. Do you expect that KCB this time out, actually, they will be able to finish amongst the 8 best teams in the Premier League?
Actually, they could, because if you look at KCB, they did some recruits. They came up with another new coach and everything. They did some reshuffles in their team players and even the coach. Sofapaka did the same. They brought in Meadows Melis, who left again. Now they have a new coach again, but the players that came with Meadows Melis are still in the team. So probably if those players are left intact and they make sure that they are doing their good under the leadership of the coach and also John Baraza, they will do better.
They will do better. They will have positive results. So is expected from Kariobangi Sharks, a side that is currently on the 9th position, but they have an important tie playing against Chemelil Sugar. For Chemelil Sugar, they are poised on the 14th position on that Kenyan Premier League log. Today is a beautiful encounter for all these teams. All of them will be trying to see if they will be able to get maximum points. Kelvin Kimathi will now be joining us to tell us what exactly should we expect from both these teams, because we know it is an important game, a very, very crucial game for Kariobangi Sharks, who are saying they want to finish amongst the best teams in the country. At the same time, we know on the other side, Chemelil Sugar, they have their own struggles. And for Chemelil Sugar this time out, they've been able to play out of the 14 games that they've been able to play. They have been able to rack in not that impressive amount of goals, but today they will try as much as possible to see if they'll have what it takes to breach that Kariobangi Sharks defense. I know it is around 3 minutes on the cards. Kevin Kimathi, what should we expect in this time? An important one for both Kariobangi Sharks, the home team, and also Chemelil Sugar. They're coming as the opposing teams, but they will not want their sugar to be licked at the expense of the Sharks.
Well, Moses, the match has already kicked off. We are in the first minute of the match. The score is still 0-0. Kariobangi Sharks will be hoping to unleash the Shark attack and get a win against Chemelil Sugar in this match that is going on right now. Remember, Kariobangi Sharks are coming to this match after that 1-1 draw against Vihiga United last weekend, and also after that 1-0 loss to Bandari in the previous match before that Vihiga draw. So they have to make sure that they can't afford to lose any points at now, and also they can't afford any slip-ups. They have to make sure that they get the maximum points if they are to keep their hopes alive of finishing in the top 4 of the Kenya Premier League. Remember, they are placed in the 6th position with 22 points, just 3 points adrift Tusker FC, who are in the 4th position with 25 points. So if they are to finish in the top 4, they have to make sure that they don't lose any points at the moment. For Chemelil Sugar, all they're trying to do is remain safe and make sure they don't get relegated. They are in the 14th position with 14 points after 14 matches. So they also can't afford to lose any match, because losing a match at this moment might cost them a lot, and they might catch up with Vihiga United, who are in the relegation zone with 12 points. The match has already kicked off, as you can see right here, Moses, and Kariobangi Sharks are already leading right here on attack. They are playing real well since the match has started 2 minutes ago, to be specific. And I can see the most valuable Kenya Premier League player last season is already here in the bench, ready maybe to get on to the match later on. That is Eric Kapaito. But at the moment, the score is 0-0. Moses.
Kevin Kimathi, I know you're talking about how important a game this is. What's your general assessment about this Kariobangi Sharks? Because for Kariobangi Sharks, I know a lot of people are saying that it is a side that is supposed to finish amongst the best 4, if not 5, in the Premier League, Kimathi.
Definitely. Talking about top 4, earlier on you were talking about the Kenya national team that will be playing their last AFCON qualifier against Ghana, and also the emerging stars. You look at that squad, they have 5 key players, Kariobangi Sharks players in the emerging stars, and also 2 players in the national team. That tells you the quality that Kariobangi Sharks has. Fielding 7 players in the national team, that is under 23, and they are Rambe Stars. That tells you they are a really good side, and they must finish in the top 4. That's their target, of course, in the finishing in the top 4. Remember last year they won the FKF Go TV Shield Cup, and they will be hoping to finish in the top 4. So they can't afford to lose any points at the moment at all, Moses, because you look at the last few matches, they've won twice, lost twice, and drawn once. But you might say that maybe it's the congestion of the season, having played in the Super Cup and now coming back to catch up in the Premier League. But once again, fatigue is not an excuse for Sharks. They have to finish in the top 4.
Thank you very much, Kevin Kimathi. They are telling us what exactly Kariobangi Sharks will have to do. And for him, he started by saying a shark attack it might be for Chemelil Sugar. But at the same time, remember, maybe it is a Chemelil Sugar side that will want to eat the big fish. But also, Kariobangi Sharks will want to lick that sweet sugar. Anything will be able to happen in that tie, and we will be updating you what exactly will transpire in that important and crucial tie in the Kenyan Premier League. Very quickly, we look at the standings. That's the Kenya Premier League standings. We know when you look at the standings, it is Bandari who are at the summit of that log. And for Bandari, 31 points. And we know they are in action now. Maybe it might be able to change. What is your general assessment? A lot of talks about Malala coming towards the end of last season and what he brought to that side. And now it seems like the tactician knows his players. He knows what they want to do. And they're not there by default.
The recent changes that he made, he just pulled Mudavadi to play the defense. That's number one. Why would you pull Mudavadi to play defense? He's playing his cards very well. He knows which cards he's holding in the hand. And every team coming in, he will give them their dose. Like now, when Mathare is in Mombasa, obviously, they should expect their dose if they're not going to pull up their socks and do something. Because Bernard Malala, we want to be on the line, to be among the best coaches, be among the coaches who have helped Bandari win the Kenya Premier League for the first time. What a history if we will make it at the end of the Premier League. Also, he should remember that Gor Mahia are always coming there. They're number 2 at the moment with 29 points, just 3 points behind Bandari. That's not a lot quite. There's a few points. So Mathare, they're number 3, Tusker, they're number 4. The difference in points for Tusker, I can just call it off. But for Mathare, Gor Mahia and Bandari, they're still in the league and they're just going for it. Whoever wins is whoever wants to blink first.
Mathare United always starts the league with some hot momentum, and they always flatter somewhere. A lot of times, maybe when their tactician gets some responsibility in the national team, it always affects them negatively big time, but also that should not be an excuse for them not to get a positive result. We know this table actually is changing a little bit because there are games that have already started right now. So by the virtue that Mathare United tie is on against Bandari, it is Mathare United who have gone to the second position, 30 points, because it is still a goalless 6 minutes of playing time up to this particular time. Gor Mahia on the third position, still on 29 points, but the table will be shifting on and off at this particular time because of the virtue that games are on at this particular moment. Tusker FC on the 4th position, so Wapaka on the 5th. Kariobangi Sharks, we know now they are on the 6th position. For Kariobangi Sharks on the 6th position, a lot will be expected from them. Kimathi has been able to tell us that. Western Stima, also another side that is coming back to this log, and they will try as much as possible to see if they will be able to get positive results. Going down on the other side, we'll see that KCB, for KCB, the season is not the best of them because they're on the 12th position. They have the money, and maybe that money should be bringing some positive results for them. Hombo is on the 9th position, while Ulinzi knows how sweet it is to win the Premier League because they've been able to win it 4 times, and they have been missing in action for quite a number of years now.
But most of the time, you remember Ulinzi is a team builder of soldiers who can be called to duty anytime. Anytime the duties are it's arising, then they are just being called in. So sometimes I can't blame them because they don't have players from outside. Mostly, most of their players are former soldiers. Like, remember, look at the technical bench. It has Francis Onyis as a goalkeeper trainer. So most of these people are soldiers. So most of the time they are called out for duty, the team goes down. But if they are in, they perform and they do well.
They are soldiers who are expected to perform, so one might call them perennial underachievers, because for soldiers, they train hard and the results also needs to come their way. But you never know what exactly happens on that side. Posta Rangers is on the 14th position right now because of the shift of the game, because Chamil Sugar is playing right now. So Chamil Sugar have momentously gone to the 13th position because they are active. Their game is active, still a goalless draw at this particular time. Zuke Ritual momentously, they also go to that 16th position because there is also an active game that for Mount Kenya right now. It is an active game, still goalless at this particular time. But surprise, surprise, maybe it is all talk about FC Leopards and where they are. We've had a number of these talks, and maybe they need to shift and change this den completely.
Okay, to put it very clear and very open, the FC Leopards need to change the way they're playing their cards. One, they have to change the culture of sorcery that is happening in the club, and so they also need to change the way the players play. They say that we have players from the Western region who can't play together because they come from different places in the Western region. That is very wrong. It doesn't help the club, just making it sink even deeper. And also they also need to check on their players. Some of the players, it's alleged that they're drunkards. So how can you perform when you're a drunkard? Just have to, 14 games, 10 points, doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. It really doesn't add up. But for AFC Leopards, that is where they are. Struggle. They know what that means because this campaign has not been a merry campaign for them. We will take a short commercial break. But when we come back, the National Super League is also out there. Different teams are trying as much as possible to see if they will have what it takes to come back to the Premier League come next season. Their quest is simple: win different matches, gather maximum points, and maybe, just maybe, be promoted to the Kenyan Premier League 2019